What's up, guys? How you doing? We got a big PSA submission here I'm going to be sending out. I had to combine two of my planned submissions due to the new 50 limit minimum for bulk submissions. And then I'm also doing my strategy by sending a couple higher tier submission cards with the bulk in the same packaging to get the bulk submissions inputted in PSA submission right away. I noticed with my last one, I tried it out for the first time. Actually, if you go look at my short with the Bubble Mew, that was the card I submitted on regular submission. And as soon as that card arrived and was in the system in a regular submission, I had, I believe, two separate bulk submissions that were straight in the system, and they already have their pictures and scans taken just for these. So they're now in the, I guess, grading process. They've already been through research and ID, which probably took maybe a couple weeks to a month for that to happen. And it actually beats a submission I had submitted about a month and a half ago to research and ID. So those cards were already research and ID by a whole month compared to the old submission. But anyways, let's get right into this. I'm just going to show you guys. This is basically for my personal, in case anything happens, just take a look. But it's always fun to see what people are submitting. And if you guys want to check them out, see if you see anything, see any cards you like, let me know what grades you think they're going to get in the comments below. So let's start it out with the nice Victini here, BWR. Pulled this one myself out of Victini box. It's a little bottom heavy, as you can see, but I got the black background so you can try and see whitening if there is none, which there's none on this card. That's just a spec. I have it in a graded card sleeve right now just to keep it as debris free as possible. So hopefully we can get some 10s here. That would be absolutely awesome. Either way, it's going to the PC, so I guess 9s are cool too. Then I have the matching Zekrom. Also, my girlfriend pulled this one, which is pretty cool. We actually pulled a couple of these, which is insane, but I thought this was the best one. Seems to be also that slight bottom heavy going on. Otherwise, should be a very clean card. These are some of my favorites. I do love the black and white era. Back is just flawless. I did have to clean up. There was some weird like plasticky marks here. There was even a little black. I thought it was a print dot, which was gonna suck, but then I just slowly wiped it off. I use a little cleaning microfiber that's used for glasses. I finds the best. Usually I don't clean cards, but obviously on something like this, where you're sending in, it's going to cost you 70, 80 bucks. I'm going to make sure it's clean as possible and has its best chance to get a 10. As you can see, we got a large submission here. Next up, I'm doing a value max tier or value the next one below the regular tier. We have a magic carp here. I picked it up a little ago vending and it's just been sitting in the case, so I decided we're going to submit it. It's not going to get a 10, and you can see there's a little whitening down in that corner, and it's pretty off center. The goal is to try and get a 9, because a 9 actually has a little value gain compared to raw, but I have a feeling with how off centered it is, probably going to get an 8, which is okay. I guess the best part about it is it's greater than 8, so it's considered near mint, because some people, with how bad the QC is on these, they might want to say, oh, this is kind of like more towards LP because of off centering and a little white dot, which I would not consider. So hopefully we can get a 9, but maybe get an 8. And this is another card we picked up in a trade. Once again, seems to be a slight bottom heavy. It's hard to tell there. It's laying flat, so slightly, But anyways, I picked it up in a trade. It looks super clean. And surprisingly, this card is just has a crazy PSA 10 premium with the market nowadays. So this card is around $200 raw, and it's bringing about 1100 ish, 1000 in a 10. I imagine that's gonna fall by the time I get this back in the next hopefully 2 months. But well, hopefully it gets a 10 in the first place. But it should still probably be around, I don't know, 800 ish, which would be nice. This one will probably be for sale, but it's a very cool card. Seeing this in person compared to online is just night and day. Super cool. Now we're starting the bulk submission here. So there should be about 60 some cards. Move those guys out of the way. And this is literal bulk. These mostly Destined Rivals cards here. I went through all my bulk and started pulling these out. This is something I'm trying for the first time. I've seen a couple people do it on YouTube. You can see there's a little white dot down there, but it's really hard to get these regular commons and uncommons super minty. So we're gonna see how it turns out. And these Destined Rivals cards in a 10 actually have a decent premium in a 10 as well. So we're just gonna see how it goes pretty much. But we grabbed a couple that I thought were cool. But pretty simple. There's the back. Like that's a fairly clean card. But I had to sort through, a whole stacks on stacks of these just to find like maybe the 20 cards I have here. But I know a lot of people don't like submitting basic common cards, but I think it's pretty cool to have like these Team Rocket cards back because we haven't had Team Rocket cards since like 2000, I think, or 2002. Maybe 2008 too. The Team Rocket's return, I think, was. But either way, it's been over 10 years. So very cool to have. And these, I do have some reverse holofoils coming up, but just some basic cards. And you never know. Some people's favorite Pokemon is Scrafty, so they may want all those Scrafty cards in a 10. But see, I like Raticate. Pretty cool card. I might keep some of these if they come back a 10 just for PC. And obviously, you've seen a lot of the low pop cards nowadays. They're just exploding in value. So a lot of these are obviously going to be low pop, whether they actually are pretty hard to grade. They're not the easiest. Like the new Mega Evolution cards are definitely easier to grade than your basic like common from Destined Rivals, and even the earlier Scarlet Violet sets are probably way harder to grade than these. And like this card in a 10, there was something going on with PSA where it has like offers of up to like $200, $300 in a 10, which is just insane. So I'm sending one out. Hopefully we can get a 10. I'm sure there's might be a little white spot up there, but how will you know till you try, right? I have a feeling they grade these easier based on just ones I've been looking at on eBay, even new certs. They seem to be less harsh on these type of cards just because people aren't submitting them as much and there's not, that crazy value or um, high pop to worry about or low pop. Like this is a very cool card. That'd be a sweet one to get back in a 10. But I tried to pick out some of the cleanest cards. This one seems to be a little off center. Once again, looks pretty bottom heavy. Looks like my top and bottom eye is not too good on the borders. But what can you do? They're ready to go. I printed out the orders, so they're going to be going. I have 2 Arbok coming up here. So if I get 2, I'll probably keep one for the sake. I think these cards in the future will kind of be like the older cards now, I guess. I think people like this is a set, Dust and Rivals, that people are probably gonna try and do like a full master set in a 10, just because of the nostalgia and the rarity of like a Team Rocket Pokemon. Like I said, it's been over 10 years, so and like you can see that with the 151 cards. All those reverses are just in the hundreds, multiple hundreds for some of them, which is just mind blowing. I think the Gengar might even be close to 1,000, which is insane for just a reverse hollow. Now we got some reverses coming up. Definitely be cool to get some of these. Like here's a Tyranitar. This one is for sure one that someone's gonna want to buy. This is super cool card. Not sure if it's gonna get a 10 or not, but we can hope. Originally, I was gonna send all these like bulk cards, like bulk, not bulk tier, but literal like a bulk card you would not even sleeve. Some people don't. I was gonna submit them all by themselves in their own submission, so they're not like the grader doesn't grade it based on other cards I have submitted with it. But we can't do that anymore because of the 50 card limit. So we're just throwing them in and getting them out there. And they're probably not going to come back for, my guess is honestly 8 months for sure. That's probably a conservative number. But even these trainers, they just looked really clean. And out of all the ones I looked through, I mean, I'm just going to try and get a 10 on it, basically. I'm sure I looked through over at least 200 reverse hollows alone. The hollows, in my opinion, were kind of hard to find here. These are all kind of ones that are pretty risky. I think I was on these. They're not super clean, but they were the cleanest of the ones I found. So we're gonna roll with it. We got some Phantasmal Flames. I went through my bulk a long time ago trying to find it originally. These are ones that are more like you would want to go based off someone's favorite Pokemon or at least a cool artwork. Like here's a Shinji Kanda art, which is obviously very popular, and I do like the art style for sure. It's the same as the Magikarp we showed at the beginning, but this is something where people might want to collect all of the artist cards in a PSA 10. And then you have a Milcery, which probably is at least, one person's favorite Pokemon, but will they want it in a 10? I guess we'll find out if it comes back. And like these cards here, this will be kind of cool submission. I'm going to try and get a little sequential action going on. I think last time I checked when I was originally doing it, they were going to be pop ones if they did hit a 10. So that would obviously be something pretty cool. But like I said, we will find out in 8 months. Now we're moving on to some actual good cards. Not good cards, but higher end cards. Pulled all these guys. They all look super clean, like really easy to grade. I'm just submitting them all. I didn't even do any pre-grading on them. It's just submit them all. It's probably around a 75% gem rate is my guess. So 3/4, that's good enough for me. But it's really just centering that you have to worry about. Hopefully we could get a sequential set here. As you can see, we have a ton of these coming through. At least get a couple 10s, I'm sure. Not really worried about these ones. These will make up for the bulk that I submitted earlier if they all come back nines. These things are just outrageously expensive right now for, I don't know, I think they're pretty, I mean, it's a celebrations card. Pretty printed well, I'd imagine, but I guess with this modern demand, it just gets eaten right up and ripped and graded, and everyone still wants one. People can't get them. Luckily, I was able to find a bunch here, as you guys can tell. Not at MSRP, probably a little bit under market though, which was good. I think I have like 7 sets. Of course, I pulled, these starter generations. Probably, well, it's obviously not the best one you can pull. The Gen 1s would be the best from the Series 1 here, but I didn't even pull a Gen 2, which is kind of crazy because I think, I don't know, count how many sets there are. There's probably around 9 in total. And not a single Gen 2 set was pulled, which is just crazy. So I'm not sure if the card shop had a little something to do with that. They might have been taking the Gen 1s. I heard that's a thing you could do with them. Not sure how true it is, but either way, I guess I have a good shot at getting these in sequential. If I did do that, I'd definitely keep it. But as you can see, they're all super clean. They at least do have a cool art style. They kind of connect, which is neat. I saw the Series 2, they leaked those cards, and I would say they're much cooler than these ones, in my opinion, but to each their own. Nice Bulbasaur. These would be the ones that I really hope would get a 10, at least with the current prices they're at now. I'm sure they'll be half that. Or who knows? Maybe they'll be double. Only time will tell. Nice Squirtle. Then we got these guys here. I love black and white, so I was opening a bunch, and I'm still trying to pull the white Reshiram. And I guess the white Flare Victini would be cool too, but for sure the white Reshiram, so I can have all three of them lined up. But haven't got it yet, so we just have a ton of these promos, and these have a super high gem rate. They're not worth much currently. They're probably, you can probably pick up a 10 for $40 of either one, this one or this one. Maybe even 30, maybe even 25 if you try and snipe an auction on eBay or something, but it's got to be at least 75, 80% gem rate. So I did 0 pre-grading on these, just picked them up, and I'm grading them. And this is something where I'll probably just hold on to it for a little bit, wait for the values to get to a somewhat of a price I kind of like. Because I mean, $40 for this is a little too cheap, in my opinion, for a nice promo illustration rare from Black Bolt White Flare. The only thing is, I mean, the gem rate's high, but that doesn't really affect cards as much as it used to. For something that's not wanted as much, I guess, like these, maybe, but obviously over time, history shows they just keep getting more expensive. So that's why I'm grading these. I think it's important to grade what you like, not what has value to it. I think people should start grading what they want to collect in their collection, and they'd have some pretty good results probably in the future, and you'd have an amazing collection you love instead of just grading for the money. So that's why I don't get why people hate on like me. If you send in a bunch of these cards, because they say, oh, you send in all those cards, you're slowing down my submissions. Well, obviously for like businesses, some people do it full time, sure, but they're sending out 100 cards every month to PSA. It's really not a big deal when I send 10, 20 of these cards to get graded. Same with the bulk in the front. Those are just cool cards to collect. It's good to grade those to help the collector get the cards that he's looking for the master set, not just grade the card that has a 5-10x return. Not all cards are going to have that. And lastly, I got the tell here. Well, thanks guys for watching. If you stick around to the end, I appreciate it. If you want to see more submissions, grade returns, all Pokemon, trying to get into a little One Piece action, that should be coming up soon. Make sure to like and subscribe and comment down below your favorite card from the video and what grade you think it's going to get. Appreciate it, guys. Have a good one.